All right, what's up, guys? We are officially live, and we're gonna just dive right in. Welcome, everyone. All right, let me close this up. Okay. How you guys doing? Yo, equal highs on Euro. Maybe it's set up on UCAD. What up, Daniel, Seth, Omar, Sen, Carlos? ¿Qué tal toda mi gente aquí? Habla español. Gio, Allen, Riley. Puccini went crazy in the chat. Morning, guys. All right. Yo, tag your people. Let them know. Let's get the most out of NFP over here. All right. So yesterday we had our look with indices. I wanted a short. We took a setup out of here. The market gave us about 88, 89 points to the downside. We looked at, I think the entry was, it gave a good reaction, out of the zone we were looking for out of here. So we got into some profit, ended up break even, so nothing really too exciting. I think it was like about 80 points in profit. Risk was roughly a little like around 50 or so. So not quite a 2R. The market didn't want to continue to the downside, so ended up just a wash as a trade. And then let me make sure you guys can see my screen. All right, are we live? Yes. Can you see my screen? Let me know in the chat if you can see. Dow Jones. Too much sauce in there. All right, NFP. Hey, what's up, Steven? Lindsay, Mauricio, what up? Ma Franks. Yeah, we in there. All right, perfect. So with that being said, what do we got going on? What's the overall assessment? We have NFP in a few minutes. So the Dow, right now it's more of a consolidation. It looks like the drop to the downside. Not really enough to be, in my opinion, a lower low. Or it got eaten up. And then demand has stayed to the side. So we've been ranging for the most part. We kind of took up these highs and then worked our way down. But it's been a lot of consolidation on both ends. If we look at kind of the recent movement here prior to NFP, we get a little spike above, so that ends up clearing quite a bit of the highs and actually takes out Asian session highs as well. So we end up getting a move to the upside over here. So possibly we're getting some sort of, what we could call it took out the highs of the last, basically 24 hours. So we get all the way back to here. Cool. NASDAQ, on the other hand, trades all the way up to this zone. So for those of you that were trading London, some of you maybe took advantage of a move like this. Very efficient for NASDAQ, already moving relatively bearish. So we're starting to see a heads up on how the market is trading over here. And we see quite a bit of momentum to the upside, immediately loses this. Right now, we're stacking up orders where you'd see, just buy, support, liquidity. So if I'm looking at indices over here, and I'm going to split screen this. So if I'm looking at NASDAQ over here, Dow Jones, the market is starting to trend to the downside. And what we've noticed is Dow has now successfully cleared out the highs from the last 24 hours or so. So New York highs, Asian session highs, and London highs. NASDAQ does more of the same. Trades into Monday's spike to the upside. So now we're getting at a position where we need to decide, is this move to the upside going to lead to shorts? Took out a good amount of liquidity. We rebalanced over here. Now the decision is really what could be the most effective idea. Took out liquidity. Now we're kind of doing the good old break and retest on both sides. So I could see us getting shorts here across the page. The big question now is, well, what's it going to be? Which indice would be taken to the downside? And as I'm looking at this, I can't say it's the easiest call to make. You have NASDAQ that's trading very efficiently. Already mitigated. Everything looks really effective. Like overall, like everything looks pretty efficient. This would be a counter trend trade to what most of the week has been doing. Dow has cleared up quite a bit of liquidity. However, it could want to work its way up to here possibly. And then if we look at the 5-minute time frame, NASDAQ trading a little bit slightly more bearish, while Dow is a little bit more of a bullish candle. So I'm leaning towards shorts with NASDAQ over anything else right now. I think that's kind of how this one could go. So I am leaning towards shorting indices overall. Look at that. So here is NFP. We're starting to see a little bit of a move to the upside. It might be Dow. And honestly, we'll see. It could be a price action game time decision. Oh, market went crazy. So good thing we didn't take anything here at all. Because we wanted to see what the real time decision was. Cool. Market cleared these highs. So where is it going up to? That's why it's nice to respond to the market rather than just taking whatever we feel like. Dow played up into this range. Now that we have this may give us a better idea. So let's zoom out a little bit. NASDAQ here. We can see we are approaching the highs of the week. So we're trading up into here. Dow Jones, similar. Now we have effectively traded into the clearing Wednesday's high from London session. Trades into these zones. So both of these are now trading into or near the highs of the week. This looks like another version of maybe the beginning of distribution. So we want to let the market show us. So the rebalance was true. We came into the zone. And now we're seeing Dow lose a ton of momentum here. A lot of steam. So the question we can ask ourselves now is, could this set up for a shakeout play where the market effectively liquidates retail sellers that were in key zones? So for example, we're looking at structure here. Here we had lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. As of right now, the market tackles on the previous lower high. So this is Wednesday's lower high. Okay. That's kind of the first task at hand. That's where the market is now. Trading all up in this range. As quickly as we go down, we're not coming back up. So huge move to the downside. Back up we go. This looks like, for me right now, I wouldn't force a sell here. I don't think that's necessarily the case. Yes, we already took out some of the liquidity here. And so I want to see if NASDAQ is going to clear the highs of the week. If we set new highs today over here. Because if we can do that, then we'll have a better idea of what Dow Jones wants to do. Because it looks like NASDAQ is kind of leading the move to the upside over here. Looks like we're getting really close to seeing NASDAQ all-time highs. Meanwhile, we're seeing Dow kind of struggle to go even higher. So this is where that, shakeout setup could give some promise here. So you see the market come up. As soon as it comes up again, it still loses some steam. So we're seeing very little demand in this zone. This could be one of those examples where, right in here, I would say it was kind of forcing it to look for a short right there. I had that feeling of like, oh, maybe we run it up. but at the same time, it seems a little preemptive. So wasn't my favorite. Right? Wasn't my favorite to just kind of force it through. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna wait. Gonna wait a little longer. Because if the market, one, I want to see us cross this high. I want to see NASDAQ take out like any excuse for any sells to possibly be in profit. We want that to basically go away. Any possibility. Because when we know like there's been a mass sweep of liquidity. So for example, S&P, boom, wow. S&P going crazy. That buy from Luis, bro, you got that, man. I believe so. Look at that, cleared the highs, off it went. So S&P successfully making its move. NASDAQ here pushing closely to take out the highs, and that still leaves Dow over here. So let's see if we end up getting an opportunity. Okay, look at that, right there. Dow still giving us lower, right? Still wanting to stay below, while NASDAQ just tapped up into this range. So right now we're seeing the break and retest basically come to life. Market goes up, comes back down, rejecting this level at the moment. Maybe we reject over here. I wanted to short right now, right there, but this move for NASDAQ on the upside, it was so tiny. Like, this is such a small poke above. I mean, we're talking like 1-2 points. Liquidity sweep, you know, come on. It's not like a liquidity sweep. I want this to break through. S&P has already proven itself. S&P is already like, yo, we're extremely bullish. So if we go back to S&P and we zoom out a little bit, S&P is just on a rampage. All right, doing its thing. So excellent. We're seeing now a Dow drop. Anyone take the short as soon like once you saw NQ hit those highs? Anyone take that already? I hesitated when we only saw it poke above like 1.5 points. So at the moment, I've hesitated. I feel like we could see it break above a little more and then make its move. And then I wonder if this is going to kind of just stay in there. So that's kind of what I have in mind here. So let's see if we get that. Because if we keep, and you know, you've seen this happen, you get another high and then Dow still stays here. So right now, what does it look like? Break, so it's buyers plugging in here, right? Adding into their positions, more buyers. So this right now, if let's say people are following along, it's one of those excuses of where you can kind of see orders start to stack in here. So buys and buys and buys, and then eventually buys go into profit. That's when we pull the short and we can work our way down. Considering that there's a few key elements to what we're looking for here. You have the order block over here that could rebalance, and then we have a pending mitigation from Tuesday. So there's definitely motive for price to come down here. Okay, so right now we're seeing these add up. What I also want to look at while the indice markets are loading up, I want to look at some majors. So what are these dollar pairs doing? And I've ignored you guys here in the chat. Sorry, I love you guys. Give me a sec. All right. So all right. Now Dow and Q working its way down. As you can see, Dow is working its way down faster. So if you shorted, it's looking good for you right now. Real good. 60 points, roughly 50 points. If you shorted after we started seeing that divergence, so you saw NQ go higher high and you see Dow stay with a lower high. I don't necessarily think this needed to be the entry. Right now, what I want to see is, can we see some buyers and then we get the next drop? So lure in buyers, stay ranging. Once buys go into profit, that's the max amount, I guess, of buying liquidity that you see here. And then the market can work its way down. And we can work our way down to New York lows. Also, if you want to target anything, we have Asian session lows over here as well. So you have Asian low there. And we have London low here, which is basically the same thing. So these are kind of our pretty easy targets for liquidity. There's a lot of buyers in the market right now. Overall, during London, you had support playing out over here. Had these lows just kind of lining up. Some of you maybe traded out of this Asian low. So both of these definitely relevant. All right, so right now we're starting to see the break retest, so structure, quote unquote. Let that build up some buyers. NASDAQ playing out of these highs as well. Not these quite yet, but definitely rejecting this. NASDAQ a bit more bullish. So the more that this happens, the better it's going to be for a short like this. Or, and this is totally fine, the market just breaks below. And if it does that, and we stay bearish, then we have an even better opportunity. Because then we just have, then we have a break of structure. And we can end up getting a mitigation setup. So it's going to depend. As of now, what I want to see in order to sell in here, I'd want to see NASDAQ pull up again. Even better would be if it makes higher highs and Dow still stays lower over here. That would be clutch. I'd feel good about that. The fact that we already are just trading here, this now looks like, if we zoom out a little bit, and zooming out, going to a higher time frame, 5, 15, just cycling through things. We don't really have a 15 yet. But this just gives you perspective, like, oh, okay, price, when it came up to here, it wasn't with the intent of creating higher highs. Clearly, price comes up here to lure out sellers, do all that good stuff. And then the market doesn't want to trade up here. So it's not valued at this price at the moment. Same thing, you can look at NASDAQ. Let's say here's a 10-minute. And we can see, okay, price comes up and comes right back down. So this is right now a matter of, and when I say demand, it's like we're talking about the demand, the how much there's need for an asset at a certain price. So when we see it briefly trade at these prices up here, and then the market drops in price again, it just shows that they're not willing to keep exchanging this, asset at this price. It's like, no, actually, we're not looking to pay that. We're going to pay less. That is what we're seeing right now. So we're getting more and more confirmation that this right here, not really a price that the market wants to be at. That's what's being decided. Where do we want the market to be at? The big players are deciding that. So this right now, rebalancing, I'm not in this trade yet, was, I guess, moved a little too slow. But when the market becomes now efficient, like it's starting to do so here, right now we're going to notice, okay, will NQ push higher? And what does that do to Dow? Okay, so gonna have my eye on this here. And basically, at this point, I'm looking to sell above here. So as soon as he cracks this is my short that I'm waiting for. First target would be clearing this low, this Asian low. We can play it from there. 2.8R, I think. Here we go. Yeah, something like that. In the meantime, while that's happening, dollar went ballistic. So we see a huge move to the upside. USD JPY kind of trading out of there. Cool. USD CHF pumping a bit higher as well. Cool. USD CAD, we see work its way up. So, did this just miss? Missed the entry that I wanted over here. So we talked about this. Wait a minute. Did this happen yesterday? I didn't notice. I'm going to be sad. No. Okay. Never mind. Interesting. Okay. So we're looking for setups way over here. So we're still a little bit further out for something like that. Something to notice between just the dollar pairs in general, USD JPY is already trading back over here, like way back to June 25th price action. UCAD way more bearish. So I do like sells significantly better with USD CAD versus anything else. I don't mean I'm selling now or anything. There's a little order block that is rejecting right now, but that's not really my focus there. With USD CHF trading similarly, a little bit more similar to USD JPY, but right now the market's tackling on liquidity here. We have something like NZD USD. So actually, let me pull this up here. NZD USD right now dropping down, clearing basically the lows for the week, trading into Friday's price action over there. That will bring us to GBP USD here, which is, interestingly enough, it cracked the lows, so it cleared this liquidity, came back up to where we've seen support, so this is resistance now, and GU is actually trading pretty nicely over here. So this may be a buy setup. I want to dive into this. This could be interesting because we see the market drop off from right around here, right? So here a sell-off. The market then, Doesn't really trade down here, so there's not a lot of demand. Goes up and then rejects where we saw support before. So look at that. I thought I marked this up somewhere at some point. So we come back to this zone. So now it's already starting to bounce. So if I'm looking at this on GU, and GU's price action is last point of supply right there. Here was the sweep of liquidity, no demand, rejects previous support, turns into resistance, drops into here. This looks like a good buy setup to me. Now I want to look at like Euro or, see what everything else is looking like. Euro's sweeping liquidity, playing into this zone that we had marked up from yesterday. So Euro's in a mitigation zone. And then we have Australian that's also in a mitigation zone. So if you ask me, it looks like buying AUD USD or GBP USD. It looks pretty solid. So these are $2 pairs. You can just kind of decide, do you want to mix your risk, split your risk, because they're all trading against they're both trading against the dollar. I would be more, I would be more focused on that. So as of right now, it looks like price action has been a bit better with GU. So buys out of here look pretty nice. Had I been focused, we could have had an entry over here. But even now, if you want to look at risk reward, and you're looking at something like this, if you take it just to fill in balance, you still get a 2R from where it is now. And then if you want it to go higher, then that's your call. But I like it. I like the setup here. I'm for it. I'm with the shits. So I'm gonna take a position on GBP. I like the setup. Let's see here, template 6B. So for example, just to give you guys an idea, if I'm risking, like if my risk is my goal right now, right now, right, I'm putting $1,000 in risk. So I can basically right now throw like 5 contracts at this. So maybe that helps you with deciding what your risk is going to be. That's weird. Why did I do that? Okay. And all right, so I'm in this. I just took a buy. Yo compré. Libra dólar. Playing out of this last point of supply. Playing in the zone. Ideally, had I been a little bit more prepared with NFP, that's my problem. We would have had an entry lower. Would have had a better risk reward. Could have used better, more contracts for that case. But risk reward was still fine for me. And if this is going to just eat this up, then I may not actually exit here. I just kind of want to see how we move onwards from this price, because we might be looking to push and clear above Thursday's, this London session high here. So we have London high right there. Overall, instead of us seeing, this whole thing give us a work our way down even further over here, instead of doing all that, what could happen is that the market gives us a completely different, when was that? 76. My bad. Just startled everybody here. Okay. So, yeah, what we might end up seeing over here now is that the move to the downside with NFP over here was specifically to just take out buyers leading up to yesterday's mitigation. And then if we eat all this up, then if we zoom out a little bit more, what we might notice is this is the the continuation, and we get back to this at some other point. As Australian is trading relatively effectively, we can kind of see as of right now, the move below this low. This was the sweep liquidity, mitigate, rally. So considering we have this over here as well, like GU pushed market higher, dropped. We didn't actually get back to rebalancing this. So this could be an exit right over here. We'll see. Anyways, at the end of the day, this is still intraday. If you're trading futures, prop firms, it's not like you'll be able to really hold it too long anyway. So for the day, clearing London high could kind of make sense. And now we just kind of let it be. So as of, like, if we're looking at price action for right now, of all of the setups, it looks like, look at how Euro is trading down here again. GU is still holding up pretty decent. So I think we made the right call on choosing the right asset to trade. Yeah, I feel pretty solid about that. And like I mentioned, it was either going to be GU or AU, either or. GU looks to be leading the push to the upside right now. So, word. Who are you guys in profit? How are we doing, guys? Drop a W in the chat if you're in profit right now. Mike, I think AU already mitigated in lower time frames. Let's see. The market here went up, down. Oh, I see what you mean. Let's see. The move down was about 17 pips. The move up was about 17. Yeah, you're right. It did. I see. Either way, I mean GBP and I over leverage. When do you recommend tightening stop on odd? Probably. So let me just check in on AUD USD right now, because odd USD here, here's where the market drops from, right? So we see all this push down, does this 17 pips or so, clears liquidity, plays down, and then, you know, plays up. So we see the exchange of money there. As was already communicated, this already made a move about within the last 15-minute candle, so that was 100% on my bad. On this move, we actually already saw money come in. So technically, I would move my stop already. Yeah, I would move the stop right now. And then GBP USD as well. It looks like we already had that initial bounce here, came back down, and off we go again. But if you look at structure, GU is way more bullish, already getting above the previous high. AU is not quite there. So I would definitely be more conservative on, or I would be more, what's the word I'm looking for? Proactive with Australian, since it's not pushing as quickly, as strongly to the upside compared to GU. Do you usually do top down on every chart? It depends on the time. It depends on the news. If we're obviously not trading a news event, then I have more time to go higher to lower time frame, for sure. Depends on the asset too. It matters more or less. Okay, so we have NQ in profits, or not NQ in profits. We have a GU in profits. So this setup here right now is sitting about. Why was I Canadian there for a second? So we're looking at this roughly about a 1-to-1 almost, just about. This should give us just straight through this imbalance. We should be able to recover this pretty easily. Maybe we're into some traffic where we've seen these previous levels of support. Sometimes those can become like a wall right there, a little ceiling. Maybe we reject it a little bit, but I feel confident we kind of keep pushing through this. So the first conservative exit, I think, would be playing out of this, where you have structure and imbalance. So go into that zone. Right now, let's see. How's it looking over here? All right. Doing all right. Decent play. Up a nice little something, something. Okay. With that being said, I'll be monitoring this on another side. Now, remember, we still have New York open in 30 minutes. Like, this is how early we are right now. We got business. We got some action here early in the sesh. So we got into majors before even indices today. That's always fun. We have liquidity definitely building up right here. So retail buyers, a nice place for them to join the party. We are currently waiting for a short. Or I am waiting for a short. You guys obviously do whatever you want. And NQ right now, a bit more bullish than Dow. So this idea still stands for me. I think with New York Open, this might take like 30 minutes. You know, we still might have to wait for all of this. But yeah, we might have to take some time to get to this point. So yeah, that's where we have that. Let's see. So if NQ, if NASDAQ keeps pushing higher and higher and higher, and then Dow is following along, but at a slower pace, that should give us a green light on a short here with Dow. Now, we haven't reversed all week, so we haven't seen anything. If anything, we've been basically in consolidation with Dow this whole time. Tried breaking out, failed. Tried getting up to here, failed. So this looks to me like distribution. Today, it seems like we could break out of the sideways movement because we've been basically ranging for 2 days now. So if you wanted to bet on the big move today, it would make the most sense. And then we have dollar news is still at 9 a.m. So we have another batch of an excuse. So we have news. We have a New York Open and dollar news at 9 a.m. So the fun still carries on, definitely. Australian is kind of struggling to break through. So if you guys, took a position here as well, I ended up going with GU, and it looks like it's going decent. As of now, let's say, 30 pips in profit roughly. But this is good. Australian, even with the dip down, it's kind of ate that up and wants to keep pushing. So that's solid. I wouldn't expect the market to struggle with anything, and I think alerts are still not. Oh, finally, they gave me my alerts back. So Australian should keep rolling through this, no problem, because it was struggling because of this area here. But as long as this keeps pushing through to here, this is going to blast GU way up. Way up. So here, this will be the first conservative target. I think we're going to go way past that. I think we're going to clear these highs here. GBP USD crossing London high. Okay. chilling. This is what I'm talking about. This is good. This is good. NQ pushing higher. And what's Dow doing? Chilling. This is signs of an asset that can briefly sweep to the upside before it drops. Right over here. Like this. I like this. And if we wanted to even have a more conservative entry, this right here is where I would really lock in on. So if you actually trading into here makes a bit more sense. Anywhere in here really, but yeah, right like into this zone, all in this. So we can get more ambitious, maybe get better RR at trading over here, but you could risk missing out. So yeah, like right over there, clear some of these highs, and then see the short play out. So really in this zone. We'll just put it like right there. All right. I want to see NQ take this out. Okay. So like I mentioned, now that it hit this previous level of support, it's kind of functioning as a little bit of resistance. So a natural point of kind of as a ceiling. And what I will say is stop loss with GU. I'm moving my stop loss to this low. So feel free to do the same. So move and tighten this up here. Here we go. Now the risk should be basically nothing or a tiny amount depending on your entry. All right, we're starting to see Dow work its way up as well, a little bit. Perfect. All right, YM. Looking for a short. All right, we're almost there. Okay. So we're noticing, right, obviously NASDAQ come up more faster. It's way closer to the high than we're seeing Dow get to. Like I mentioned, I want to see it clear these highs. I actually think we probably will go a little bit higher. I wonder if we're going to see NASDAQ clear the high or not. That's my question. Is he going to take these highs? That's what I wanted. I wanted to see NASDAQ clear the high first because I felt like that would be capturing more liquidity one more time, taking out NASDAQ sellers. S&P here, similar. Okay, running into a little bit of a wall, a ceiling right there, so a little rejection. Still think we can go higher. Didn't quite get to this last push up, so I'm gonna wait on that one. All right. Meanwhile, let's see. Okay, so GU starting to push above, push through. AU fighting clawing its way up. It seems like this trade is going to actually trigger before New York Open. Okay. Now, let's continue. Let's look at a couple other things. I got Dow on my radar here, so we're chilling. So outside of the majors, typical, I'm sure you guys, someone probably already asked for gold or silver or something. Okay, so here's our eye on GU. We'll just have that there for now. Then we can focus on gold here, right? So gold, man, similar, really similar. Gold melted with NFP, played down into imbalance. Nowhere really like, I would say we didn't really get into, at least for me, like a tradable area. Yeah, I mean, it played into, I guess, a little bit of traffic in here, some of this imbalance, and then it came right back up. So it's all right. Nothing crazy. Question, what's the stream quality like right now? Is it lagging? Is it good? Is it choppy? Damn, what an entry, Mike. Yeah, solid entry. I had it at your stop loss better down where you have it now on dot. Mike thinks 44, 935, 44. Okay, what the fuck are you saying? No, 44, 934. Yeah, okay, so my stop is above these highs. Yes. And then my entry is going to be somewhere in here. Yes. Didn't take profit on US 30, thinking we could pump and dump one more time. Were you in a short earlier? Nice to see blue. It is. You don't think GU going to sweep that and hit mitigation? Sweep what exactly? Great. Yeah, GBPs. All right, when do you recommend tightening? Okay, we talked about that. Man just left me. Was cutting cucumber at work. Damn cucumber. Gonna have to pay the price. Top NFP. Gold has been on a sick one. Word, I appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate you guys communicating. You're like eagle eyes in the markets too. Execution. I don't have a sell limit. I never mentioned a sell limit. Didn't say I was in anything. Sell limit at 1.36. I don't have a sell anywhere. 89. No sells. Just where I would exit. Guys, I'm pretty clear. Like I'm never like too ambiguous. Like it's not a mystery if I'm gonna do anything. No, where I exit doesn't mean that's where I would also enter a new trade either. By no means. Hey guys, I also appreciate you guys hitting the like button. Appreciate it. We're here to grow the channel. Also, if you're up and you're enjoying this session and you want to support the channel, my recommendation, this is just me, because y'all are going to look fly as fuck anyways. Y'all should definitely at least get on the inside scoop. But like, check this out. It's lit. Pre-order that we're going to literally tomorrow, 4th of July, we're going to launch them. So check these out. If you guys like, this is high quality. Like this is like a cream of the crop right here. If you guys like hats, rock them. These are a fresh combo. Also, if you get both, you will also get a free water bottle. So they're pretty sick. But anyways, that's my commercial. And appreciate all of you that have pre-ordered so far. Means a lot to us, for real. Okay. So going into metals right now, looking at gold might, maybe, depends on how this plays out, but maybe we may be looking at a shakeout on gold. Now, let me break this down and get in a little deeper. Gold is like not really, it's like struggling to load for some reason. I'm floating around a 1.5 R. What do you think about me cashing out and then getting in on that US 30 so you have marked up? I would get a better risk reward. Are you in a sell? You're in a buy. I mean, trade your plan, bro. Don't trade mine. You don't got to do what I do. If you bought, what did you buy or where? Somewhere over here? Oh, you're in a sell. I mean, I still think, yeah, I still think we can go higher. I don't think we've worked our way up fully. It's up to you. Take partials if you want. Yeah, I mean, for all we know, this was it. That was the move up, and then now it wants to crash. We haven't seen Nasdaq clear those highs, and I have a feeling it's going to. So if I was in a sell already, I think I would probably just hold it, to be honest. And then if I get an entry, I'd probably just stack an order. Because if you already have a really solid setup and you believe in the higher time frame aspect of it, then you're probably going to be okay. Yeah, it's just your approach. Okay, so you got in when it was over here somewhere. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think with New York open in about 14 minutes, maybe that's what takes us up to here. And then we can see the sell out of the zone. Okay, so GU pushing along, just about to hit that first exit. What I'm seeing with gold here is it's moving slower, obviously. And so it cleared the lows. And what are these lows? So what exactly, what kind of liquidity are we getting below? Like, what is all of this? And if you notice this here, what we're seeing is this cleared out Wednesday's London lows, Asian lows, and then it trades into all through Tuesday. So we trade into Tuesday's kind of Asian session range. That's gold. Silver, on the other hand, silver is trading very bullish. Very bullish. So as we see silver rip, and guys, we're about to hit take profit. If you have a conservative exit, you're about to see take profit hit on GU. Now, silver absolutely rebalanced this whole move that we had over here. So it came back down, played out of this low, so basically mitigated this structure, goes absolutely flying. So if I wanted to get a buy, as of right now, with metals, I would be looking at possibly a silver play in the future. Now, we will just keep in mind how both are moving. But as of right now, this melted into this zone, came right back up here. So either the market, because this is a huge sell-off. This is a smart money sell. This big money comes in, obliterates, and rebalances all of the Asian to London high over here. And then what could happen, and this is where we want to be mindful of price action, divergence, all that good stuff. But you may see something like this. So look, Aussie pumping. All right, there we go. So, all right, I got to turn this thing down because this thing is way too loud. All right, y'all got to chill out. So AUD. Let's do this now. We can even things out over here. We're now seeing this climb back down to this level over here. These lows, support. So all the way over here. Filling the imbalance. So a lot of times the market can kind of see a little bit of a rejection out of the zone. So this is a key reversal zone right around here. It's possible. So if you want to be really conservative, then this is where you could look for exits right over here. So these could be just good sell zones. Not even sell zones, but like targets like there. You're seeing it happen right now. Seeing these areas of reversals commonly. Resistance, support, resistance, support. So all around the zone, if you guys wanted to take some profits, definitely makes sense. I mean, you see it happen here like a ton. All in this range. So this is if you wanted to take profit and you're like, all right, I'm conservative. So some of you said you took euro. I didn't take euro. I saw euro dropping fast down to that 886. So I didn't take euro, but I'm not saying it's playing out pretty well right now. Here again, you're running into some traffic. You have support. So right over here, you could see like it normally is going to give you some push. It's going to create this kind of movement. So either you take your profits, conservative exit, it's good. Or if you think, okay, well, there is a higher likelihood that we keep pushing beyond that, then you just are aware, like, okay, here's where I can normally see a little bit of a pushback, but I believe in the higher time frame target. So if that's the case, then you could see the market maybe going down to here, clearing London highs, then great. Or if this is like the first conservative exit, that could be a place where you take some profit. Maybe you pay yourself a 1R and then let the rest ride. That way you kind of gain a trade in a way. So these are all different techniques that you can incorporate into your system for sure. Poniendo a comer la fam como siempre. Dímelo, Tarantino. What's good, G? Could we use that liquidity capture on the equal highs on Euro USD as a trigger for taking profit on GU? It's not a bad idea. If you notice something right now, as well as the other setups are, when it drops, they're kind of dropping a bit more aggressively. So Euro, NZD is barely playing out of this zone, so it's like not really even going too far. So AUD USD and everything else that was a little bit more delayed on the move up, it's now starting to reject a little bit, right? So we had targets, and that's what I'm saying. Like, for me, I feel like seeing the exit is one of the easiest things to do. I don't trade, like I don't like get into the market in these setups. I get out of the market in these types of ideas. Now, because we chose GU and GU was leading, like I know we chose the right asset between all the majors because of divergence, price action, all that good stuff. And I'm looking at this not just on the small time frame, but I'm looking at this off of a higher time frame. To me, this looks like a sweep of liquidity on the bigger time frame. Well, like I mentioned, we after we do that, the market, it doesn't trade down here for very long. There's no demand over here. Market goes up, and then once it plays out of this previous structure, support, imbalance, this then lures in break and retest sellers. So this lures in a lot of sellers starting right there. So this right here break and retest, sellers join the party. This means we have retail sellers positioned here. Good target for a intra swing exit. So this is in my perspective. Now this is just how I view the market. This is where we would see, like, there is liquidity here. There's money sitting here. So that's where I would see an exit. Básicamente lo que aquí estoy escribiendo es que con la compra que hemos visto, esta área aquí donde vimos soporte en el pasado, que puede funcionar como resistencia, son buenas áreas de salidas, intradía, algo rápido, conservativo. Pero aquí donde el mercado hizo un quiebre, aquí vimos soporte, mercado hace el quiebre, el retesteo, el retest aquí. Entonces aquí es cuando entran vendedores minoristas. So retail entra aquí. Y aquí entran vendedores, entonces aquí hay dinero de vendedores minoristas. Por eso es que creo que esto ahora puede empujar hacia acá. Por eso es que yo personalmente creo en esto aquí. Que esto llegue más allá. Esa es mi perspectiva aquí. Okay, New York Open in a few minutes. How's it looking over here? We have NQ gearing up, getting closer. Dow is building up orders. That is a beautiful setup, indeed. I already hit TP. Congrats. PG. Congrats. Love that. Let's go. All right. Got the alert set up. Oh, shout out Steven Mata. Got the shirt. Let's go. Shout out Giovanni as well. Isaiah. Shout out to y'all for supporting. Ruben, Tio, Tomaso, the international. Gerardo, Giovanni, Rafa, Daniel. Tons of you. Appreciate you guys. Means a lot to us. For Southern View, you already have your stuff is already shipped. All right. Getting closer, folks. 3.5 minutes. Word. All right. So I'm ready to strike when we get there. Let me look at the chat. Short for gold or indices? Let's see. No, didn't talk about gold shorting at all. At no moment was that mentioned. So not looking to short gold. Yeah, not selling gold. No. I kind of see what you see there, maybe. I think you're looking at like the push to the upside here. But, and then the move down. So I guess I could see it. If the market, if gold stays bearish, like if gold, let's say for, it just starts to work its way down or whatever, then maybe. I could see that maybe later on. Here. I could understand that. But I'm not selling gold yet, or I'm not even, this isn't like ready. It's not confirmed. Okay, NQ starting to clear the highs. Now this is looking like it could set up Dow here soon. So this is good. We wanted NASDAQ to take these highs out. Perfect. Okay, so now we're seeing the divergence, higher highs here. we're still seeing lower highs. So that's good. We have New York open in about 90 seconds. This is a lot of squeezing. I'm gonna wait. There is a chance this just can go down without us in a minute. It's possible. So be ready for that. It is possible. I would rather, though, I'm operating in a point of my system. If it doesn't, it is what it is. And then also this could lose. So there's no, what's it called? There's no perfect way to approach this. So I'm going to just follow my system. If it doesn't get into the zone, it doesn't get into the zone. And it is what it is. So GU has officially hit that first take profit. If you were looking to take that exit. Just to quickly show you guys real quick. GU now got into the zone. So TP there. Well done. I have that. I took the same trade, obviously. Okay, let's see. So New York open in a few seconds. Maybe we get that little spike and then just instant market execution. So, all right, seeing it happen here. All right, so it's poking up into the zone just a little bit. There goes NQ. Dow just tapped into there and then started to drop. It was like a microscopic second. Look at NQ flying. Wow. So since Dow already tapped into our zone, there is a chance it wants to short already. So let's see. All right. So I am taking a position. Now that it came into our zone, I just sold. So yo aquí entré en venta. Looks like I got tagged in right there. Poked right into here. So this is my entry. Maybe it could still go up there more. Totally could. But considering we saw Nasdaq already fly up in the zone, I wanted to make sure at least I can lock myself in this. So, all right, we're seeing that happen here. So that's in motion. Okay. Let's see it. So the original setup would have been a little bit higher. So right now, all right, trading pretty well. Let's see if we're going to see NASDAQ slow down. And if this fills this imbalance, maybe it brings Dow with it. All right, so that's going well. Meanwhile, we have GBP USD still trading up a bit more as well. Okay, so really the first order of movement that I want to see is kind of a liquidity sweep of some sort and then moving instantly into break even. So ahorita ya estoy en venta y lo que yo quiero ver es que capture liquidez, que baje de ese, que nos dé ese impulso para seguir. This move up here, this little move was like 50 points or so. Haven't quite seen that yet. So let's see if we get it. My stop's up here. So then now the original entry, had I been a bit more patient, would have been basically right around now. But it is what it is. Okay. Let's see. Meanwhile, GU just trading on up. Just rejecting here a little bit. Nothing too much. A little bit of a rejection right there. Okay. Let's see here. Dow losing a little bit of steam. And then I'm zooming out here on NQ. Right, NQ is successfully liquidated all of this over here. That's what we wanted to see. Dow now dropping into profit. So once it clears, I'd say this low here, this is where I'll start to tighten up, manage the trade, like, give it some breathing room. Right now, this drop has been about 37 points or so. Kind of want to see a little bit more out of this. All right, saw a good drop coming right back in here. So Dow with a no chill. Dang, I don't think it's gonna. It might not give us this the short. That sucks. Yeah, definitely wanted to see. I thought we were gonna get a shakeout here. I mean, I guess we still could, but did not think it was gonna even crack above this range at all. So at the end of the day, guys, that's what we get ready for, right? That's what we prepare for. So, I mean, it is what it is at this point. Now we're seeing Dow clear the high. So minus 1R on Dow for me over here. In the meantime, now we're starting to see NASDAQ start to kind of lose that momentum now that NASDAQ's cleared those highs. So, okay. On the bright side, we do have... GU still in profit, so that's not a big deal. Okay, cool. Let's see, where's this at? NQYM. Okay. So I'm just looking at a couple different things here. I want to see what the market's looking like for any possible opportunities. So what do we notice here, right? So here's 1R, minus 1R. GU, is doing obviously much better than that. We saw basically look like Dow wanted to take out the highs of, I don't know, NFP's pump basically. And then it looks like it's a bit more effective. So very interesting on how that's playing out. Okay, cool. So, yeah, I mean, right now, maybe we see the short now that we clear the highs. Maybe now this wants to go down and clear liquidity. Maybe not. I'd say wait for actual confirmations before making any decisions with the market over here. Yeah, so let's see what this turns into. Maybe we end up getting a shakeout later on. But one of the things that we don't want to end up doing is just kind of forcing entries, right? Just like, oh, well, no, it's got to go down and it's got to play out in my way, and I have to be right, or anything like that. I don't think that's the best idea to just keep taking more and more entries. Yes, we got above the NFP high now. It looks like this is pretty efficient. Maybe Dow wants to clear these highs, honestly. So we can reevaluate once there's kind of more perspective over here. And in the meantime, at least we have GU running pretty well. So, but also GU is not guaranteed anything. So I'd say we just kind of operate from a place of patience. I'm not here to make anything back. That's not the goal here. So, yeah, let's keep this in line. I think what we'll end up seeing is a sweep above all of this, and then maybe we start seeing some reversals. But let's wait it out. There you go. All right, so in the meantime, it's looking good. Dow looking to clear liquidity up here now. And Q chilling out a little bit. So while Dow is ripping, and Q now is settling in. Huh. The tables have turned. Okay, so Dow here. Took out the highs now. Success. So we are above Wednesday's London highs. So here we have it. So now that it's done this, I think, okay, now we can start to consider different things. And there we go, right? Now NASDAQ is starting to move its way down successfully. So let's see what the market can do now. Now we can wait for extra confirmations, see if the market drops, see if we get the typical shakeout. Okay. So now that the external liquidity, the highs of the week, etc., this is what's going to give us potentially better opportunities. But we have to wait for everything to settle. So not just Wednesday highs, but this is the weekly highs. And look at Nas. Nas now making that move. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So now what can we see happen here? This is where things can get interesting. Now that we're at weekly, we've cleared weekly highs that have been set up. NASDAQ is dropping further down faster by far. This is where we can go and target something like this. And shoot for Asian lows. Oops. Something like that. Now we're seeing a difference in price action. And this is us basically adapting to the scenario. Meanwhile, we have GU trucking along, helping out. So GU sitting at 2.5-ish RR, which I think will go beyond that. Okay, 6B. Let's go. Solid. All right. This is not just London high, but high of the week. Okay. Who's still riding GU? Damn, Dow, no chill right now. Sheesh. No chill whatsoever. Looks like that could bring in the play for NASDAQ. Let's see. Kind of want to see NASDAQ kind of settle in, though. Instead of like a quick up and then down and then up and then down. Kind of want to see it like lure in the buyers, settle in down here. All that good stuff. Maybe we get Dow pushing back down into like this structure. We'll give it time. Look at how the dollar, yeah, such a reversal in the dollar. Big time. Nice, well done. So right now, identifying the dollar's movement was essential. So well done. Snipe that. Excuse me. What does that mean for, wait, hold on. What is crypto doing? Crypto's got to be up. 110. Nice. We got a nice short yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this one. We had talked about this earlier in the week. So mitigated that. That's all it was a mitigation. Came back up again, came back down with the NFP. We saw it drop, and then now the market moves. Remember, we still have news in 15 minutes. So still a news event in 15 minutes. Bitcoin mitigating this and then immediately absorbing all of that. No chance. The next target is all-time highs, guys. I think... Right now, I'm still not going to look to sell anything. Nothing. I'm not. This happens too fast for me to drop and then right back up. Maybe it sells from here, but this drop doesn't convince me that, oh, there's demand down here. This shows me like, it's iffy. So not necessarily in love with this idea yet. Not quite. Could later, but gonna give this a bit more time. And with that being said, I don't really know what's gonna stop Bitcoin here, or indices for that matter. We just crossed 45,000 on Dow. Epic. Higher highs on Dow, lower highs on NQ. So I could see it. I could see NASDAQ dropping. It's not textbook setup though, unfortunately, because we don't. When we break and retest, we don't really trade here for too long. So I usually like to see it trading down here a little bit longer before a short. So this kind of setup, maybe you go half risk type of situation. So I'm cool with the little risk on this. Light risk. Let's see where we go. So I did take a short here. Small. I didn't take a full position. Took less. So here. And especially because of the divergence. And then this, my target's going to be... You have the NFP open, initial target, and then you have Asian lows that are somewhere else, apparently. We'll see. All right. Now, yeah, so for Bitcoin, if we're looking at all-time highs, we're over here. Is there any sort of inefficiencies here? That's really the big question. Are there any sort of, and everything looks healthy, rebalance, mitigation, here. It's like, what's going to bring this down? I don't really see much. Let's see. Even looking back over here, like we have the move to the upside. Market comes back up to here. Looks like this mitigates. Yeah, I mean, I think this might just go all-time highs today. That might be the case. So we see. We wait and see. Yeah. I'm pretty patient right now with GBP as well. Gonna just kind of let it ride. So we had the mitigation right there. And then what could happen at some point in the day is that at some point we might make another pullback here. So maybe we get, before the market really fully sends it, we might get an entry somewhere down here. So here's where you saw it sell off. We get basically like NFP comes up again, then drops. Here's where we have a little bit of an imbalance. So somewhere around here. It's looking good though. Looking pretty good. Let's see, where does that take the rest of the market right now? Sold at 154. Dog at 43. ETH at 26.32. And then what does that mean about dominance? 65 and change. Oh, okay. So we actually saw dominance take a nice little hit since yesterday. Okay. All right. So news happening soon. Still keep that in mind. Dow absolutely on a rampage. NQ chilling. Melo. What's interesting about stable coin, this is also another indication on when we're going to see alts join the party or not, is just how much stable is in the market. And you can zoom out a lot more here. But stable coin just kind of keeps losing dominance, which is good. That means the market's going into the right place. For crypto, at least. Outside of that, and we'll get into other things here, but what are the big winners for the day? Uber blasting into all-time highs again. Delta. Some of you bought Delta. We bought Delta together a few months back. So those are up, I think, about 20% or so. Intel, steady gains. Been squeezing for a while. We were waiting on a pump up into the mid-30s, which looks good. Etsy rebounding. For those of you that cop Nike, we're up over here. Hit our profit target. Hit some nice gains. And then losers for the day, not much. Solar, we have FSLR popped off here. Solar's doing good today. Robinhood, a little bit of a dip. Basically nothing, considering it's just going astronomical. All right, not bad. Okay, coming back to indices here. Cleared way above the highs. Cool. NQ chilling. Light R. Yep, that took. So I took a quarter loss on this one. Like I said, it was light. Wasn't really too convinced on the break and retest here. That's why I was like, this shakeout just seems kind of weak. It didn't build up buyers. It just, like, this doesn't lure him in. It was like, all right, cool, here we go. Like, it didn't create enough demand down here to say, okay, we can see a pretty good short. And we're going against momentum. So that was a big part of it. No chill on Dow. Wow. What a demon. Cool. I think at this point, since we're going to have news here in a few minutes, I wonder if this is what will carry GU up or down. Either way, like I'm in for the party here. I'm in for the ride. So I want to see the continuation of this. We definitely have a lot of demand. The question is do you believe that we can get this much? So if you're trading futures props, is this enough? Like, will the market get enough volatility to take this out? I think considering like this is the last excuse for the day, we could push past where we had the break and retest sellers join in. This is where we have liquidity here. So I'm willing to hold through this to see it go down. Let's see. NQ about to hit 23,000. Just like that. Boom. GU right now riding out about a 2.8, almost hitting that 3R. Right now we're sitting right around liquidity. News in 4 minutes. Solid. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at with Dow? Oops. Dow's way up here. Okay, trading way, way, way up in this range. Sick. Well done. GU losing a little momentum. A little momentum over here. Building up liquidity. 3 minutes out. So I don't really... I don't think I'm going to be adding anything to any dollar pairs. Like, everything's pushing nicely. NZD moving along nicely. We got Euro that could look to clear these out. Obviously, we may have... Another possibility is the drop and then the rally again. That could introduce... another buying opportunity. So if we were to drop, let's say, like back down to here. Then that could be a decent continuation if we were to get back down to this zone. For sure. That'd be sweet. All right, we're about 90 seconds out. This is, I think this, because we got specifically to resistance and a liquidity area, I feel like the news event's going to go and take out these highs and then go trigger some take profits. All right, let's see. What are you guys thinking? USD CAD is still respecting instruction, could mitigate lower. Not seeing the whole chart. What? Mike, do you know how in crypto? Hey, Long, you didn't text me back yesterday. You know how in crypto I can convert my profit to USDC? Is there something like that I can do on stocks? Convert your stocks to USDC? Is that what you're saying? Or convert it just to dollar? It just depends on where you have it. So yeah, it really is going to depend on where you have your stocks, for sure. All right, guys. So we are starting to see, one, indices drop. Two, let's see what the news event does here. All right, little dip. Nothing crazy. Volatility has entered the chat. Let's see what we get. Okay. Clearing the highs now. There we go. Pushing up. Beautiful. Let's see. Let's clear these highs. Let's see it go down. All right, USD CAD just got into a zone of some sort. Cool. Let's take a look at that over here. So where does that take us to? So that takes me to this zone. And this was a buying zone that I did have for USD CAD. There you have it. Buying zone on USD CAD, selling zone on GU. Not selling, but take profit zone, almost. Considering that GBP USD hasn't quite reached above this, I want that first. Because if the dollars should keep losing strength and this goes higher, that might put USD CAD a little bit lower in the zone. Let me look at CAD futures here. So we can go look, well, go look over here. What did I have? CAD futures. I don't really see the setup. It's more of like a, it's not the best. Like I see imbalance. I don't really see the zone for a short. This spiked up, came down, this polarity into this. I don't really care too much for this, to be honest. It's already kind of playing out of it. No, GU, you failed me. So I could see why I think reversals were in the zone here. Or we were trading out of this, it looks like then. Oh, I think I had it wrong. Just order blocks. All right, so 6 futures looks different than USD CAD on its own, I think. So USD CAD tapped into that zoning perfectly. So CFDs looks decent. So why does this look so different? Okay, clears liquidity there. Plays out of the zone nicely. So it's playing out super nice. USD CAD over here kind of clears a low. So it was just really playing into imbalance, a light drop into here before the market rallied. Nice. Looks like GBP USD didn't clear this, at least not yet. Maybe we go for it, maybe not. I wonder if this becomes a distribution because this is dropping fast. So it clears liquidity for sure, but basically comes back up to where we've borderline saw the same. So I wonder if this looks a little different on futures. No, basically the same. Cool. I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna keep like holding this setup because just because we had this first 5 minutes doesn't necessarily mean that this trade's over. So I'm gonna hold on to this a little longer, and then we'll see what kind of move we can get to the upside because there's still liquidity here. So for all I know, this could just be luring in another round of sellers before this thing clears the highs again. So I'm okay. I didn't take USD CAD. It was just an imbalance, not my specific trade model for entries. It would have been a setup for me for exits. Following up on indices right now, they're still just going up. So nothing we can really do there. NQ, more of the same, still pushing to the upside. Nothing that I'm going to do there either. Yes, absolutely ripping. So wish I could have had an entry for us for a buy at some point, but it really wasn't there, at least not for me. At any point, nothing with that follows at least any smart money principles that I would have taken. So yeah, I'm kind of just gonna wait this one out, sit this one out. I'm still in GBP USD, considering how close we got to clearing out the break and retest liquidity, the retail money that's sitting here. Yeah, I'm gonna just kind of keep holding on to that. I know a lot of you hit profit already with this, so congratulations on that. Good stuff. And yeah, way to not chase any shorts on indices and just kind of follow along. So keep holding, guys. Hold it down, see how it goes. In terms of stop loss with GU, I wouldn't let if this comes melting down, I wouldn't give this all back to the market either. So I think having your stop at a healthy price is going to be good. So consider whether you want to play it at a structure or you want to have a certain amount of profit that you want to take out of this trade. Maybe you want a 2R, minimum. Maybe you want 1R, 1.5, or you go, you know what? Here's where we've seen a lot of strong levels. Maybe the market's going to bounce out of the zone, so you have your stop in profit somewhere over here. Just depends on what your goals are. Or you go, you know what? Don't like this candle. Let me just take my profit here and call it a day. So secure something for sure. And then with that being said, yeah, I mean, did you guys learn something? Did you guys get to lock in some gains? Like, his stocks have stablecoin. I mean, no. It's called the dollar, just USD. Stocks are not crypto, so they don't have a stable coin. At least not yet. Yeah. Crushed it. NZDTP, full 423 pips. 423 pips. We have more news? I thought it was at 9 a.m. No, that was the news. 10 minutes ago. Y'all in profits, took partials and holding the rest. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well done. Well, guys, I appreciate you all that are, you guys like to stream. You're subscribed. We'll be back here again. Tomorrow, I don't think I'll be live. Yeah, markets are going to be closed tomorrow. You might see something, but even today, you'll see the markets close pretty early. So I don't think the markets are going to be open until, I think they'll only be open till like 12 o'clock, Central Standard Time. So yeah, I think CME index futures will close around noon, and then stock markets will close around noon as well today. And then tomorrow, everything's going to be closed. So I wouldn't necessarily look for too much more. Take some time off, prepare, journal, look at what, zoom out, look at what the markets can look like later on. But overall, yeah, that's basically it, guys. So good work on GU. Looks like it didn't quite poke above yet. Conservatively here, taking profits is not a terrible idea. And we'll go from there. So appreciate you guys for hopping on. If you enjoyed this session, if you guys got to see profits, maybe you passed your funded, maybe you're going to withdraw today as well, and you guys want to support Tradetopia, go check out the site, see what you like, set a pre-order. Officially, everything goes live tomorrow. So appreciate you guys. And remember, that is tradetopia.store if you guys want to check that out. The drip is excellent. Trust. So take care, guys, and I'll see you in the Tradetopia school community. If you're not in there, just check the description. Otherwise, if I see anything else that I like, I'll go ahead and share it in there. And what I want to see from you guys is, why am I ending so early? There's nothing else to do, man. I've been here for 2 hours. It's crazy. Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Any takeaways you have, drop in the chat. We want to hear from you all. Enjoy the classroom. Keep learning, and we'll see you next week. Peace.